What's it like visiting the San Diego Zoo? Let's find out. In this video, we're going to take a tour around the San Diego Zoo. We'll visit as many animals as possible. We'll ride the bus tour, the Skyfari, Mowgli's 4D adventure, and visit the Wildlife Explorers Basecamp. And along the way, we'll share tips and stories about the park and its animals. We recorded just about everything there is to see here in this video, so if there's something you'd like to see in particular, feel free to use the timestamps to move around. For more tours like this, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Right in front, this is Rex the lion, the 27-foot tall, 10-ton bronze statue, all balancing right on this front point right here. Super cool. Hey, how are you?
All set, thank you.
If you're not familiar with the park, definitely pick up a map. There's a lot of trails that go through the area here. If you're using the San Diego Zoo app, just scan the QR code. It'll open up the map for you. But it's also very helpful to have this physical map here. It's about 73 degrees today. So one of the things I always recommend is, if this is your first time here, to get familiar with the park, definitely take the bus tour. So that's what we're going to do today. When you first arrive, you have an opportunity to take a photo here if you'd like. Here's the line here for the tour bus. We're going to try to go up on the second level up there.
Hey, hi everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. Welcome aboard. You are on the guided bus tour here at the world famous
The first bus tour was given in 1974. Ever since, it's been a popular attraction and a great way for visitors to get an idea of how the park is set up, so you can walk around later and visit the animals you'd like to see individually. The tour lasts for about 35 to 45 minutes and covers a majority of the park. During this time, the tour guide talks about the history of the San Diego Zoo. They also point out and share information about many of the animals here. Way off there in the distance, you can see the zebras. The polar bear plunge is a very popular place here at the park. I'd recommend that you use the zoo app to find out when they're doing one of the trainer talks. This is when trainers share information about the bears and give the bears their favorite treats, attracting them right up to the viewing area. Look at that. There's the Bontebok. And then over here are the southern Gerenuk. Just after the bus tour, we'll visit each animal on their own to see them up close. Right here is the mountain lion exhibit. One of the great things about taking the bus tour is that you get to see certain parts of the park, such as the Elephant Odyssey here, from a perspective that is just outside of where the public has access. Just straight ahead there are the lions. It looks like they're having some food right now. The Elephant Odyssey opened in 2009, and it focuses on animals whose descendants lived in the California area 12,000 years ago. You can tell jaguars apart from the other animals because they have a pattern called a rosette, which looks very similar to a rose pattern on their fur. The Elephant Odyssey is a 7.5-acre area that's home to more than 35 species of animals. Here's the Elephant Care Center, Jurassic Park. Down here you can see the secretary bird. Here's another secretary bird. There are two exhibits here at the San Diego Zoo for different types of elephants. In the first exhibit, you find the African elephants, which you can recognize by looking at their ears, which are very large and shaped like the continent of Africa. Right next door is another area for the Asian elephants, and they come from the Indian subcontinent and South Asia. And right next to the Asian elephants, you'll find camels, llamas, and California condors.
Coming out here on the right, this is the coffee area.
There's one digging right there. This is the top of the Africa Rocks Trail, which isn't accessible by the bus tour, but you can walk down it yourself. We'll visit this a little bit later in the video. Over here in this area, you can see where the koala habitat is. And this area is called the urban jungle, where you'll find giraffe, hippopotamus, cheetahs, and much more. This area that heads downhill is called Center Street, and this is one of the first areas to open up exhibits in the 1920s and 30s. This is where you'll find a majority of the bears here. And they moved some of the African penguins over from the Africa Rocks area over here now. And here are the grizzly bears, and until 1924 you could actually find grizzly bears still here in California. Today they live mostly in the northwestern parts of the United States and Canada. And these are the Andean bears. You can see them climbing around inside of that structure over there. And here's the other one, and they're both part of a repopulation program. They each have their own exhibit. This trail leads down to the center of the park, where you can take the elevators up and walk across the Bashor Bridge, or you can visit the nearby Africa Rocks. Africa Rocks highlights some of Africa's most extraordinary species, with animals from 6 different habitats representing the seashores to the savannas. Some of these exhibits can be hard to see from the bus, so let's take a walk around the park and see things up close. Alright, let's go check out the park. Now we're entering the Australian Outback. Just up there on that branch is the kookaburra. Kookaburra sits on the old gum tree. And here's one of the Tasmanian devils taking a nap. Oh, he's waking up. Tasmanian devils are carnivorous marsupials originally found in Tasmania, but they've now been introduced to New South Wales and mainland Australia. He's like, I'd rather sleep in the sun. The giraffe exhibit here is very unique because you can stand just feet away from the giraffes. There are scheduled times when you can pay to feed the giraffe, and they even have behind-the-scenes tours where you can meet the trainers and giraffes and see them up close. Giraffes have a spotted pattern similar to that of a leopard. At one time, people called the giraffe a camel leopard. Just across the way are the hippopotamus. Surprisingly, these hippos are very territorial, and in the wild they can be dangerous, so you have to keep your distance. Despite weighing up to 4,000 pounds, these hippos are very fast. They can run up to 19 miles per hour on dry land. If you guys didn't see my other video, I did a silly video right here. This is where the hippos are staying temporarily while the hippo exhibit's being renovated. But this is the location of the very first YouTube video. It's called Me at the Zoo, with one of the founders at YouTube, and they filmed it right here. The cheetah exhibit here at the zoo is unique because you can stand just feet away from them. The zoo offers an early morning cheetah experience where you can meet the cheetahs up close before taking a cart tour around the African animal habitats here at the zoo. There's one of the koalas up there in the tree. They sleep about 22 hours a day so that they can conserve energy. They spend most of their energy eating and then digesting the leaves here. So, as you can imagine, must be a pretty sweet life. Exiting the urban jungle area in the park, we're now going to head north towards Africa Rocks. Africa Rocks is only really accessible by foot, so I highly recommend that you take this trail. It's one of the newest parts of the park, with lots of different animals and birds and amazing habitats for you to see. These Hamadryas baboons are highly social creatures, and they live in troops with up to hundreds of members. And if you see them, try not to look them directly in the eyes because they'll take that as a threat. Next door, these geladas are known for the red hourglass shape in their chests. They're grass-grazing animals that look primarily for tubers. There's also lots of amazing plants here too. Africa Rocks has a nice walking trail that takes you along various exhibits and aviaries. This is the white-fronted bee-eater. And this is the aviary here at Africa Rocks. You can see there's hundreds of birds flying around out here. And then you can see how all these different netting areas separate all the different enclosures and habitats for each animal. It's really impressive. These leopards are the smallest of the large cats, and they can be found throughout Africa and Asia. They're very similar to jaguars, and they're covered in the flower-shaped spots on their backs called rosettes. So there's 2 levels, but this is the bottom entry to the Woodland Aviary. Let's go check it out. This aviary has 2 levels, And entering on the first floor here, you can see hundreds of birds flying around, and there's a little pond here with fish. This is one of the quiet areas of the park where you get a really nice view of some of the beautiful plants that they have here at the park. That is so cool. They're really fascinating to watch. The vervet monkeys are an old world monkey found all over sub-Saharan Africa. They're sometimes referred to as green monkeys because of the greenish tint on their fur. This area is called the Madagascar Forest. Here you'll find various types of lemurs, which are prosimians, meaning they are primates that evolved before monkeys and apes. There are 98 species of lemur, and you can only find them on Madagascar. Madagascar is separated from Africa 155 million years ago, hence the distinction between prosimians and apes. Near the base of the Africa Rocks Trail is the Rady Waterfall, which is a 65-foot multi-tiered waterfall. You can walk around to the backside of the waterfall, and on hot days, the spray is really a good relief from the heat. It's a great place for photos. Continuing on, you'll reach the West African forest. Here you'll see turtles and dwarf crocodiles up close. This is a nice part of the park where there's a stage, and sometimes they have shows on the weekends, and it starts leading towards the center of the park there by the Bashore Bridge and the Sky Ferry. First, you'll pass through this beautiful aquarium area with leopard sharks and lots of different types of fish. Now let's head to the center of the park where we can take the elevators up. Here you can see the Bashore Bridge, which leads over to the Elephant Odyssey. But first, let's visit the gorillas. Gorillas are peaceful, family-oriented, plant-eating animals. They're the largest primate, and their arms are much longer than their legs. Gorillas rely on the rainforest habitats that they live in, and they spend most of the day eating. So gorillas are herbivores, and they eat up to 40 pounds of food per day. They get a lot of the moisture in their diet from the plants that they eat.
Tell me what's your name. Hey, gorilla.
The black Mangabey is a highly endangered monkey. They're known for their loud whooping call that can be heard up to a kilometer away. This is one of my personal favorite exhibits here at the zoo. It's the home to the bonobos, which might be the most intelligent primates on Earth besides humans. They're incredibly intelligent. As you can see, this one here is using a stick to find food. Their social behavior is unlike anything else. They're incredibly peaceful, and they've never been observed harming each other. They're considered to be more peaceful than chimpanzees and humans. They have a matriarchal social structure, and members earn rank in the group by forming allegiances rather than by using physical intimidation. Look at the bonobo down there, getting some water. These bonobos demonstrate compassion, empathy, kindness, and patience with each other. They're incredible animals that share many of the same qualities as humans. Although related to hippos, these pygmy hippos are much more shy and bashful. They prefer to live in small groups of 1 to 2 hippos, staying as far away from trouble as possible. Orangutans in the wild tend to be solitary animals, but the ones here at the zoo are very social and playful. As you can see here, this orangutan has something like a potato sack that it's using as a poncho or a blanket. It was really interesting watching them on this day because you can see they're just as interested looking at the crowd as we are to look at them. This one seems to be playing peekaboo or hide and seek with the school kids. They seem to be enjoying their human entertainers. This one decided it was time to make a break for it. Walking through the park, you can see that they have strollers and wheelchairs here available to rent. There are some great gift shops here. This one's called the Zootique. And then over here is the San Diego Kids Store. And if you're interested in buying letterbrush or caricatures, they have artists here that can do that for you. This area of the park is called Front Street. It's the main promenade where you can find all the gift shops and restaurants. One thing we're going to do is head over to the Wildlife Explorers Basecamp, because this is a pretty popular place as it's the newest location built here at the zoo. Right here is the Skyfari, and this takes you on a one-way trip across the park. This will take you to the other side right by the polar bear exhibit, and it's about 5 minutes, but it gives you a really good view of the park from above. Now we're here at the entrance to the Wildlife Explorers Base Camp. This area was opened in the spring of 2022. And there's all kinds of activities and stuff to do here. Let's start with the Spineless Marvels building. So you may have seen this in other videos or pictures, but this is the entrance to the Spineless Marvels building. And you can see the facade and the walls are designed to look like flowers and grass and really take you into that mindset that you're one of these small creatures here. And then all throughout the building are a bunch of different display cases with various insects. Let's take a look at some of them. There's the Malaysian bush cricket. In this building, you'll have the chance to see a wide variety of insects. Here's the lubber grasshopper. Insects are known for having an exoskeleton instead of a backbone, and this protects the structure of their bodies. This is called the taxicab beetle. I assume because it's both yellow and black, kind of looks like a cab. And this one's called the domino roach. And all throughout these different display cases, you can see the leaf insects, stick insects, the vampire crab, white assassin bug, just so many different insects. So here I am in the grasshopper. I think I'm supposed to be, I shouldn't, am I supposed to be eating? Do I catch the bugs? Continuing on, you can see that there's a honeybee themed area here. And this is where you can see some actual live honeybees. These are the western honeybees. Over here is an area that's dedicated to butterflies and caterpillars, and you can see the various stages of their growth. Just outside are these butterflies, and you can watch them flying around. So out here there are 3 different enclosures, and this looks like maybe a porcupine? I couldn't find the signage here, so I couldn't tell if this was a lynx or a caracal, but if you know, please let us know in the comments. And this area is called Cool Critters. The interesting thing about this area is this is where they actually incubate some of the reptiles here. And these are a few of the examples of some of the reptiles. This building is part of the Marsh Meadows area here at the Wildlife Explorers Base Camp, and here you'll see frogs, snakes, fish, amphibians, and lizards. And they have a Tyrannosaurus Rex back there. See, there's a bunch of different interactive exhibits here. There's a 2-story laboratory with interactive media exhibits, labs, and classrooms. This is one of the areas in the park where you'll see reptiles and snakes. And snakes are long, limbless reptiles that evolved from burrowing lizards about 100 million years ago. We'll visit many more of the snakes at the Reptile House later.
There's a cricket. He lives in a few minutes before he gets hungry.
Cool, so heading back outside, you can see the layout over here from above. There's 2 levels to the Cool Critters area. Down there they have different fish, and then over there there's a play area. Then we'll go visit these areas just now. So I did a short video about the history of the Beach Boys and how they took the picture for the album Pet Sounds here at the San Diego Zoo. And then I lined up a bunch of pictures and estimated that the location was right here, surprisingly, on this stage, which is just perfect because the Beach Boys, you know, they're legendary musicians and that's where they belong, on stage. This is a cool water play area. It's all based around this tree right here and this bridge and these water jets everywhere, and there's animals living in these enclosures that are kind of commingled into the play space, so it's a lot of fun. Oh, take a look up there on the net, right just by the top there. Little spider monkey. Cool net jumping play area. Should I walk across the bridge? Yeah, let's go. Let's climb up the stairs into the treehouse here. Let's try to do this one-handed. That's not too bad. Right down there is the Fennec Fox. Let's see if we can make it up this way. Slippery. That's the Goliath stick insect. And this place is interesting because this is where you'll see the arachnids, or the spiders. And there are lots of different tarantulas here. That's the Mexican fire-leg tarantula. And here's the Brazilian white knee tarantula. Right next door are the naked mole rats. You can see they live in these underground burrows and tunnels. It's like a mama and all her babies. It's amazing. And these are castings of ant nests. This is what it looks like underground, where the ants build their homes and burrow these different structures under the earth. These are called honeypot ants. Really, they have these large sacs that hold a sugar water substance that they use to eat. Some people actually eat that part of the ant, and luckily it doesn't harm the ant, which is good for everyone. Check out those butterflies eating the fruit there. This is the bottom level of the cool critters. That's great. I love these lights here on the ceiling here. That's the map turtle back there. Hiding down there is the Lake Titicaca frog. Back there is the Amazon milky tree frog. That's the axolotl. So there's so much to see here. We're going to move on to some different areas in the park now. Let's check out the Hummingbird Habitat. There's one. These birds are too fast for me. So this area is called the Komodo Kingdom. Usually they have these Komodo dragons here. Let's see if we can find one. Oh, wow. That's a big one. This area is called the Reptile Walk. Besides the helicopters and commercial jets flying over, it's pretty peaceful here. Colorado river toad. It's the rosy boa. There's the Californian king snake.
Okay, you're grounded. This is taken away.
These are called the dying poison frog. Gharials are related to alligators and crocodiles. They're part of the crocodilian family. They have a different body composure though and smaller legs, making it harder for them to walk on land. These are the brown tortoises. These are the Galapagos tortoises from the Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos tortoise can weigh up to 500 pounds. They have strong legs to carry around all that weight, and surprisingly, the shells are not completely solid, and this helps them to conserve energy. Now we're going to head down the monkey trails. Colobus monkeys are old world monkeys native to Africa. They live in diverse egalitarian social groups, and all members of the group take part in raising and taking care of infants. Mandrills are old world monkeys that are native to West and Central Africa. They're known for their colorful appearance. Social groups can range into the hundreds of members, but the males prefer to live solitary lives only to return during the breeding seasons. A quick tip, there are 2 levels here at the monkey trail, so make sure to check out the lower levels if you want to see the monkeys close up. This area is called the Scripps Aviary. Really beautiful place to visit, and you can see it from the Skyfari above. One of the most captivating exhibits here at the zoo is the Sumatran Tiger exhibit. And the thing that makes it so special is you can stand just inches away from the tigers. Standing this close really gives you a great perspective of the size and the power of these predatory cats.
I could hear his heart.
Tigers are stalk and ambush hunters. Their distinctive stripes help them to remain unseen as they hide and stalk prey in the grass and the forest lands. In the wild, these tigers require a lot of space to survive, and one of the biggest threats that they face is habitat loss. Much of the forest that they call home is being cleared to create room for palm oil farms, and this has been a big threat to animals such as the Sumatran tigers and orangutans. Down there, there's a monkey and a tiger playing together. You ever seen a monkey and an otter play fighting? Only at the San Diego Zoo. Straight ahead is the snow leopard. These leopards are found throughout Asia and Africa, and you'll notice the rosettes on their fur lack the distinctive dot in the middle that the jaguars have. This is one way to tell them apart. These patterns help to camouflage their outline as they move through the grassland. These are the takins. They have the nose of a moose and the horns of a gnu and the body of a cow. Preferring to live high in the trees, these red pandas live in high elevation areas in China, Nepal, Bhutan, India, and Burma. They're known for their cat-like face, and they prefer to eat bamboo and insects. These are the elevators here at the Bashore Bridge. One way to avoid walking up and down the hills too often is make your way to this elevator area here that is right at the center of the park. There's the Skyfari ride from the Bashore Bridge. Let's walk across. Next we're going to see if we can get an up-close look at the polar bears. Let's see. Down there, sleeping in that little cave area, is a mountain lion, also called pumas. There's an anteater. Here's the Skyfari. It's about a 5 to 10 minute wait, depending on the length of the line. And we're walking down the hill towards the polar bears. But on the way, you can see here are the southern Gerenuck. They're from Somalia and Tanzania. In this area here, you can see the Speaks gazelle and the lesser kudu. This is the polar bear plunge. Here's a cool place you could take pictures here, right next to the polar bear. Over here is our play area for the kids. But parents, beware. The kids go in and don't come out. You're gonna have to go in there and find them. If you haven't seen the polar bears at the San Diego Zoo, my recommendation is to visit during one of the polar bear talk times. And this is when the wildlife care specialists feed the polar bears their favorite snacks, attracting them right up to the viewing glass. On this day, it was interesting to see the polar bears eating cantaloupe, because in the wild, polar bears only have one primary source of food, which is meat. Polar bears are the largest bear species, and their bodies are specially adapted for life along the Arctic Ocean. They have blubber and thick fur to help insulate and keep them warm, and their color provides camouflage when they're hunting prey, which are typically seals, but they've even been observed eating walruses, narwhals, and beluga whales. Now let's head to the Wildlife Wonder Show, the Mowgli 4D experience, and then Elephant Odyssey. All right, I'm going to jump on the Skyfari so I can get to the other side of the park, and then we're going to check out the show. Then we'll come back and ride the Mowgli 4D adventure. Thank you. So as we head across, you can see there's downtown San Diego in the distance there. Just out that direction is where the San Diego International Airport is. You can see the plane coming in, flying over downtown, which we're known for. Moving over here on this side, you can see the Bashert Bridge. Over in that direction is the bottom of Africa Rocks. Down here is the gorilla habitat. You can see one of the gorillas way down there. And then that's the Scripps Aviary where we were just a little bit earlier. Now we're right above the Reptile House. There's the Komodo Dragon exhibit over here. Now we're gonna head to the stadium next to check out the show.
People and wildlife every single day. Start on over in our Amazonia hub where, so please keep your eyes to the sky as we introduce our flock of macaws. Coming in overhead, we have our beautiful scarlet macaws. Need a cup of coffee in the morning. Can't get your day started without it. Elvis! Using a sense of smell about 10,000 times greater than ours. And so right here in our southwest hub, there's a very endangered mountain yellow-legged frog.
Now Jezebel is nearly 27 years old. She's been with us since she was just about 1 year of age. She came to us from a wildlife rehab facility where they attempted to get her back out into her natural habitat. Everybody, this is Shadow, our gray wolf. Let's hear it for Shadow, everybody. He's really owning the stage right now, huh? Oh, he's feeling himself today. All right, let's hear it for Shadow, everyone. Did you folks know we used to have wolves everywhere on this continent? From the tip of Florida and Miami all the way up to Portland, Maine, across the continent. When Europeans first settled this continent, we pretty much hunted the wolf to extinction. And when you pull predators out of the finely tuned machine that is an ecosystem, lots of bad things happen. 2, 1. You guys did great, so I still had a howling good time. Did you? Okay, get yourselves a round of applause, everybody.
Pretty windy up here today. Hi.
Hi. And your glasses, enjoy.
Hello everyone and welcome to Holy Show Adventure. Just a quick little reminder, eating and drinking is not allowed. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoy the show. On.
Stay seated and please, no talking during our trip.
Hold your fire. We only get paid for tiger cubs.
That's the exit. We've recycled these, so you'll be doing your part to help save our planet.
And these are the Kangaroo Express buses. They have stops like this all around the park, so pretty much you can go from one area to the next. They arrive, I think, every 15 minutes or so. So you just wait, jump on, you can bring your strollers, whatever you need to bring with you. Easy way to get around the park without having to walk the whole distance. All right, this is the entrance to the Elephant Odyssey. This section of the park is themed after all of the animals that would have lived in California 12,000 years ago. So there's some cool sculptures here that you can take pictures with as soon as you walk in. This elephant, this huge elephant is definitely a cool picture opportunity. And just next to that are the lions. Sometimes you can see the lions up close right behind the glass here, and other times they'll be outside roaming around their enclosure. A lot of the times they like to climb up into these tree perches here and sit above everything. Right next to the lions are the jaguars.
I'm one of the wildlife care specialists here in Elephant Odyssey. All of our wildlife thrive by giving them the best care possible. She is 15 years old and she's looking great for a 15-year-old. She was named after a volcanic region in Nicaragua.
Tapirs are related to horses and rhinos. They have a nose and upper lip that work just like an elephant's trunk. It can be used as a snorkel when they're underwater or to grab branches and pull off leaves and fruit. And here we are at the elephant exhibit. These are the African elephants. These elephants are so strong that they can knock down a tree with their trunk, but the two finger-like edges on their trunk are so dexterous that they can pick up a single piece of straw. Woolly mammoths and elephants are approximately the same size, but the mammoths had much longer tusks, and they had long hair and wool to keep them warm in the cold weather. This is where they do all the medical checkups and everything for the elephants here. Secretary birds were named after the outfits that male secretaries used to wear in the 1800s. This included gray tailcoats and dark knee-length pants. Continuing on, then you'll see the Asian elephants, which are recognizable by their smaller ears. And usually only the males have tusks. If you haven't visited the Elephant Odyssey, I highly recommend it. It's probably one of the most awe-inspiring areas here at the park. In the area, you'll see gift shops and restaurants, and other animals that lived here thousands of years ago, such as the camels, llamas, and California condors.
We was there at 6 o'clock, so I don't know what you're doing.
Remember that show I watched before? That's Carnival.
Alright, now we're going to take the Kangaroo Bus to avoid having to walk too far. Let's go up on the second level. Awesome.
These buses do not stop by the entrance or the exit of the San Diego Zoo, but the closest I can get you to the entrance or the exit is the next stop, stop number 1. Memberships The guided bus tour is a 35 to 40 minute tour non-stop.
Let me go first. The thing to remember about the Kangaroo Bus is that this is stop number 1, which means they don't stop at the front of the park. You're gonna have to make your way out to the urban jungle area to catch the first bus stop. But then from there, it'll take you all throughout the park. Okay, that leads us right back up to the front of the park, right by the orangutans. Now here we are at the Reptile House. Back there is the Del Nido ridge-nosed rattlesnake. Highly venomous snakes. On this branch right here is the beaded lizard. They're venomous lizards. This looks like the banded rock rattlesnake found in southwestern United States and central Mexico. Just ahead is the side-striped palm pit viper. This is the West African Gaboon viper. This is the monocelic cobra. Right in front of us is the Argus monitor. Just ahead is the green tree python. And here's the Madagascar ground boa. And back there's the black-headed bushmaster. It's the African bush viper. There's the shingleback skink. Check this out, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake. These are the ones that you find all throughout Southern California, the ones that they warn you about growing up here in California. And these things are huge. Just look at my hand for reference. You do not want to run into these guys out in the wild. And this is called the snouted cobra from the savannas of southeastern Africa. And you can see in the water over there is the green anaconda. That's incredible how they spend a lot of time underwater. Back there is the emerald monitor from the island of New Guinea. And here's the king cobra. Here's the black tree monitor. And the blue tree monitor from the Batanta Island in New Guinea. Beautiful. This is called the eyelash palm pit viper. Here's the Mang Mountain pit viper. This is the banded king cobra. If you enjoyed the tour, please hit the like button. It really does help the channel out a lot. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. And to continue the journey, click right here. All right, see you in the next one.